All right, I'm going to do one more of these today, or at least one more, because I did not touch on conditional formatting like I had planned to, like I had wanted to. Sorry, just trying to make this thing look a little nicer. So what I'm going to do here, I've already got it, but I'm going to just dump all of this conditional formatting. So I'm going to clear rules, clear from entire sheet. All right. So this is how it looks like without conditional formatting, and as you can see, it's tougher to manipulate. It's just more difficult. So what I'm going to do now to do conditional formatting, I'm going to highlight all of these. These are the ones that I want to change color. And actually, you know what? I'm going to keep these separate. I'm going to use different colors for that. I'm just going to highlight the raw data first time around. So I want to format this automatically so that it shows me the hot spots, so that it shows me the worst offenders of whatever the situation is. You can look at this the other way, and it shows you the best of the bunch. But I want to look at the worst, because that's what I want to focus on personally as a teacher. Now, if you're dealing with sales data, you'd probably also want to look at the worst, but you might want to, I don't know, give out sales awards for some conference or something, in which case you want to look at the best. If you're dealing with financial data, you might want to look at the negatives. So you may have it grouped into a couple of separate groups. Maybe you've got the negatives, the neutrals, from, I don't know, minus $10,000 to positive $10,000, and the positives above $10,000. If it's interests or if it's percentages or something like that, the point is, regardless of what the type of data is, you, the user, need to determine the criteria by which you set your standards against. So I think before, the way I had this was 90 to 100 was green, 80 to 90 was yellow, below 80 was red. I'm going to change that. I want to make it, I don't know, let's say 50 and below is failing, 50 to 75 is meh, and above 75 is good to go. I'm going to do that this time. It's different from what you saw last time, so keep that in mind. You'll probably see more yellows and reds. Or at least more yellows. So let's have a look. So I'm going to come up here to conditional formatting. Now, again, Google Slides can do this, but it does it in a somewhat different way. But it's pretty easy to, and it's pretty similar. Honestly, compared to Excel, Slides is awesome because of the collaboration that you can do, where I can be working on this along with people from all around the world, literally at the same time. Now, one other quick thing to note is there is Microsoft Office 365, which is collaborative. Honestly, I've used it maybe 5 years ago. It was clunky. It, I don't even think, had the same number of functions that Google had. Certainly not as much as a full-blown Microsoft. For some functions and features, you need full-blown Microsoft. There's no way around it. But at least for teaching, I've found Google Sheets is more than adequate, and so I use only that because of the ease of collaboration, the automatic saving that it does, the fact that it saves to Google Drive. If you're stuck using Microsoft, I get it, no worries. These are basically the same. All of the functions and features that I'm going to go over can be done in both. You'll find them in a slightly different spot. So conditional formatting, we can do a couple different things. So we can do color scales, for instance. So green to yellow, apply a color gradient to a range of cells. The color indicates where each cell value falls within that range. But when it does a gradient, it looks at the minimum and the maximum. It makes the minimum red, it makes the maximum green, a strong red and a strong green, and it just gradients everything in between it. To me, that's not as useful as sort of hard coding it, but for some people it's fine. So these are other gradients, simply with a similar gradient but with a different scheme. You can do these data bars, where the higher the score, the more it fills up the cell. And so you can see, for instance, the 100 here. If I look at progress test 7, student Eddie Edwards 2 got a bunch of 100s. Those are all full. But when you look at these ones where there's no data, it's blank. When you look at like a 58, it's half full. That may work too. What I want to do though is I want to do highlight cell rules. And I'm going to say we're going to need to make 3 separate rules for this. Because remember, we're going to do 0 to 50, 50 to 75, and plus 75. So let's say greater than 75, but I want those ones to be green. Because I'm good with that. If it's above 75, I don't care. I just don't want to see it. I don't want to worry about it. So, okay. But let's see here. With some of this, it's funny. So here's the interesting part. If a student has a 75, for instance, right here, it's not going to show up green. And I'd like it to show up green. Now, I can do greater than 74, but, and that would work here because all of these are non-decimal point scores. But when I get over here, if I have a 74.8, it's not 75, but it's greater than 74. So I'm actually going to do greater than 74 point, add a bunch of 9s. Way more than the number of significant figures that I've got. And I'm going to do OK. So now keeping that same exact data highlighted, I'm going to come back up here, do highlight cell rules, and I'm going to say less than 50 is light red fill with dark red text. If it's below 50, they failed. 49.99999 is included in that. If it's less than 50, they failed. Okay, so those are the easy ones, the extremes, the edges. The tougher, weirder one is the in-betweens. So now I'm going to do conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, between, so from 50 up to 74.999, let's say, and I want that to be yellow. Okay, so now what you got is 74s are yellow, 75s are green, and below that are reds. Now in this case, none of the students failed, actually. None of the students got below a 50, so that's a good thing. You can easily see, though, the ones that are missing. So if those students needed to make that up, or if you simply have an incomplete data set, it'll show it. I might want to adjust that, but I'll adjust that later. The reason I say is, this doesn't give me as much to focus on as if I slide the scale up. Knowing that no one got below a 50, I can again make, say 50 to 70 red, 70 to 90 yellow, 90 plus green, if I want to. Let's keep it like this for now though. So I only did that with these. For these ones, now I'm going to skip maximum possible score. For these ones and for these ones, I want to use a slightly different scale, just to show that you can. So in order to highlight more than one thing, I've highlighted this just by clicking and dragging on them. Now I'm going to hold the control button, hold down control, and I'm going to click and drag on these as well. And then I'm going to let go of both. So you see, I don't have this maximum score because that's not actual data, that's reference. And I should probably put that up here actually, but maybe I'll show you that in a couple minutes if I remember. But this gives me the scores which are not raw data, but which still matter. So let's do conditional formatting here. Highlight cell rules. Now, I'm going to change this one. I'm going to do the 50 to 70, 70 to 90, 90 plus. So let's say greater than 89 point, bunch of 9s, and I want to use different colors, so let's do custom format. I'm going to do fill, more colors. I'm going to do that, I don't know, this color green, let's say, with no pattern, but with font. Where's the colors for font? Watercolor, pattern, fill effects, more colors. Color, sorry. I'm going to make the font this gray color here. So, okay. So that's, what did I say? 84, yeah, sorry, 89 and higher. Now the reason I chose gray for the color of the font is because you can see it pops out away from the green a little bit better. I'm going to do another one now. And as you should assume, the minimums are going to have fewer greens and more yellows and reds. The averages are going to have a bunch of yellows and some reds and some greens. And the maxes are going to be mostly greens in this case because we already know, I mean, I know this from doing it. Janet, get out of there. I already know this. The students in every case start out pretty strongly with the easy work when they're really paying attention and then get sloppy and lazy later on. And all of the exams are pretty fair and pretty well balanced. So I know that it's going to look like that. Do you know what your data is going to look like? That's the question. Surprises are often bad, especially when you're showing it to like your boss. At any rate, conditional formatting. So I've got 89.9999 plus. So let's do highlight cell rules again, and let's say less than, what did we say, less than 70. And I want to do custom again, custom format. I'm going to make the font color the same gray, but I'm going to make the fill color a darker red, okay? And okay. So now I got to do the in-betweens. So this is from 70 to 90, right? So I'm going to do highlight cell rules between, and I'm going to say 70 to, and you see it automatically put some of that stuff in. Now I'm going to add some decimal places, but only a couple because remember significant figures from the last video. I'm going to say 999, which is less than 9999999, which I put in the green category. 70 to 89.999. And I'm going to do custom again. Custom. I'm going to choose a font color, this gray. And the fill color, I'm going to make this annoying orangish. Or actually, let's do more colors. Yeah, that's a pretty ugly yellow. Okay. And you can see, though, the gray doesn't really pop very well. So let's change that again, actually. Custom format. Let's go to font color. I'm going to make it like a darker grayish. Okay, there we are. So now you can clearly and easily delineate between the student's raw data and the calculated data. And that's oftentimes important because these things here, I can't control. I can't screw it up. I can't make it better. I mean, clearly I can teach the kids better, but at this point I can't control it. But these things here, although I can't control what the value is, if I screw something up, it's going to be apparent. If I mess up doing the wrong average or something like, Janet, away from my stuff. If I screw up doing the wrong calculation, you're going to notice that. And so doing these in a different color because they're calculated might make sense. Now, I promised you one other thing. I'm going to move this up here. There's a real quick and easy way to do it. So I'm going to right click and do cut. Okay, so now it's highlighted that. I'm going to right click here and do insert cut cells. Now I forget if it inserts it below or above. So let's find out. It inserted it above. Good. Okay. So now the other thing, you see how this all goes away? That's a problem because I want these things to show up even if I scroll way down here to the 2000th student or the 2000th data point. So I'm going to do two other things. First, because this will just annoy me, I'm going to give this one borders like we did before. I'm going to do all borders. And I'm going to do thick outside as well. So now it put all the borders in and it made the outside ones thick. Right? And then I'm going to highlight this and come up here to view and do freeze and freeze panes. Now let's see, nope, I did it wrong. Okay, hang on. So what that froze is it froze the panes above it. I want to highlight this one, do unfreeze, keep that highlighted, and then do freeze panes. And now watch. Yes, get, no. Now I can scroll way down if I've got a bunch of data way down here, and I'm still going to see what the label for that data is and what the maximum score is. Now again, I can actually take the minimum, average, and maximum. I can put them up here as well. So well, let's do that. So right click, cut, right click, paste. You can't paste because cut area and size aren't the same. Okay, that's right. Right click, insert. That's what I wanted. My bad. So, however, now these go away as well. So let's click here, here, unfreeze, freeze. Now, so now you see I've got the, this is gonna make me annoyed if I don't do it, so let's do thick borders. So now what I've got the labels, the maximum possible score, the minimum, the average, and the maximum. And now what I can do, I can scroll down to the 2000th data point, and I can look and say, okay, Eddie Edwards the 13th has, can I just click just one? There we are. Has a 98, which is the same as the max score here, and a 100. Good. Close. This is a little rough here. Close. Close. A little rough. All right, so Eddie has some off days, but that's all right. You can see 74 versus 94. That tells me something's up with this specific test. If this consistent student is quite low, and this test is low compared to the others, right? And you can go by, and not that we would necessarily compare students to one another, but we might want to compare them to the minimum, average, and maximum, see how far away from the average they are. And in this case, Eddie Edwards the 13th is at or above the average for the most part. 86 to 84, 98 to 93, 100 to 94. Awesome. In this case, 74 compared to 84, maybe he was having a bad day. So that shows you conditional formatting, cutting and moving stuff, cutting and reinserting it, and then also this nice feature where you can freeze panes across the horizontal so that you can see more data while still having reference to this data up at the top. And I'm going to pause it there because I know that's a lot. If you didn't get it all, rewatch and give me some more views. If you liked the video, click don't like. If you don't like the video, jump off a bridge. No, don't do that. I don't really care about your likes and dislikes. It's not going to make me money anyways. So enjoy. Have a good day. See you later. Bye.